Today is one of those days where if I speak too much, I'll be in big trouble. So I don't really have anything specific to talk about. It was a very slow burner of a workout. Like, mentally, I went to the gym and I was just fuming. I was in a very angry, frustrated, spiteful. I had a clusterfuck of emotions. Like, my mental space was bad, which is why I went at that specific time. I was actually planning to go a lot later today and like refuel for the day, because I've been doing a lot of, I guess, what you could call intermittent fasting. I spend most of my days fasted and just eat throughout the evening and get all my calories in the evening. And today, I maybe 2-3 days a week, I'll rest, depending on the week. Every week's different in that respect, but I'll rest from that, so to speak. And I'll have a day where I eat and I go to the gym later. So I'll just eat all day and go to the gym later. Today was supposed to be one of those days. Something happened. I was fuming and I just had to get out of the house and go to the gym. Anyway, that made for a very interesting gym experience, because I could work hard, which was interesting, because I could like channel that energy, that frustration, that anger into fuel, like real fuel to work hard. Like, my warm-up run was easy. My first exercise, the hard work element of it was easy. It was, I guess you could argue that it was made even easier by the fact that I chose to do a new workout, a new exercise, and like play with a new movement pattern and a new skill, which was suitcase deadlifts, which I got from Bill Maeda. Was the first person I ever saw do them. And they felt really good. And they forced me to be very focused on the exercise, because it's something new. It's something I've never done before. So I couldn't sit there in my fucking, whatever you want to call it, self-pity because of how fucking jarred I felt. I had to just get on with it and just figure this shit out and work, which was very useful for focusing my mind and gradually getting me to a slightly more balanced state, because I was able to clear my mind by focusing it on that particular exercise, which was really valuable, really valuable. And then after that, I found myself a little bit lost again, those same emotions lingering a little bit. So I decided to do some sled sprints or sled pushes. I tend to use the sled mostly, and I've used the sled mostly for just a warm-up, just that knees over toes, pushing and pulling warm-up. However, recently I have turned to it whenever I've wanted to get a real good like quad and glute burn. So I got into that, and that was tough. That was difficult. But it felt good. I was able to, again, release a lot of that energy, release some of that energy, which felt nice. And then I helped out a couple of people, just with an exercise that they were struggling with. They just asked me for some pointers, which was kind of nice. Like, I was kind of relaxing, having to focus on something bigger than myself, like teaching somebody how to do something, you know what I mean? It's a very centering experience when you're not in a great headspace and you're forced to like pull yourself out of that place and just like give something positive to somebody. That shit's helpful as fuck, man. That shit helped me a lot anyway. So I was kind of grateful for that. I was very, very grateful for that. It's always satisfying to help somebody out in the gym. So then that set me off quite well. That brought me back to a state of balance again. And then I decided to jump in. I wasn't too sure exactly what I wanted to do after the sled pushes. I was considering initially, prior to helping the couple of people with some deadlifts, I was considering just calling it a day after the sled pushes. But then a friend of mine was doing some hip thrusts, so I decided to jump in with her, just do a few sets, get my glutes firing. And because I had in my mind that I wanted to do some RDLs after yesterday and open up my hamstrings and just loosen them up a little bit, just really light. Even I didn't even do much. And then after all of that, interacting with a few different people, I felt a lot more at ease. I felt a lot more balanced. My head was a lot more clear. I was able to... I had done a fair bit of work by that point as well. And once me and my friend had finished doing the hip thrusts, I did my RDLs and I said, fuck it, like, let me just do some fucking power cleans. Like, that is my movement at the moment. I am enjoying that movement pattern like no other at the moment. That deadlifts, I'm loving deadlifts. I'm loving anything pulling really at the moment. And the power clean it's a fun one. Like, your mind has to be sharp. And I love that. So I just used the bar, used what we were using for our hip thrusts, and just got that bar up a fair few times. Focus on the cues that I got from my friend the other day, which are helping me a lot. Like, when I catch it, I can feel it, and that feels really good. But it was a very it was a bit of a roller coaster mentally today. It was a little bit of a roller coaster, but it got me, like, as I sit here talking about this and thinking about this, it takes me back to something my best mate was talking about the other night on Saturday when we was together. And he was talking about, like, how much attention I put on my state of mind and how much attention I pay to my state of mind. Like, I am focused on and aware of my state of mind pretty much 24/7, like, more than anybody else that I know. And whilst it wasn't conscious until Saturday, until he put me onto the concept, until he broke it down, like, into something that you could kind of quantify. So the quantifiable thing being that this whole time, for however many years it's been, since he's considered me somebody who doesn't compromise. Like, in reality, all I've been doing is placing a very high importance on my state of mind and paying attention to my state of mind and being aware of how participating in this endeavor or that activity will affect my state of mind, and not allowing or simply just refusing to do anything that I believe would have an effect on my state of mind that I don't want right now. And that was a really interesting concept to get my head around. It was really interesting to, like, put that into perspective, because whether I realize it or not, like, it's kind of like if my hierarchy of values being health, wealth and family were a Christmas tree rather than a pyramid, then it would be the star on the top of my Christmas tree that kind of just lights the way for everything else. That's kind of how I've drawn it onto my hierarchy of values anyway. And today was a very good test of that. It was a very good practice of that. I was forced from the jump to be very aware of where my head was at. From the moment I found myself experiencing all those emotions, to the point where I decided, all right, cool, I'm flipping up everything I planned for the day and I'm getting out of here and I'm going to the gym, to getting into the rhythm of the gym and struggling to find a rhythm, to then helping some people out, to then jumping in with a friend, and then finally ending my session at a place where I was like, wow, okay, cool, like, I feel good now. I feel content now. I feel at ease now. And yeah, it was a great example. It was a great example. Today's session was a great example of how well I've practiced that art of paying attention and placing a lot of attention on my state of mind. Yeah, it was a good session. We'll definitely talk about this more in the future. There's a lot more to be said about it. If you made it this far, again, I appreciate you more than you could imagine. Thank you very, very much, and I shall see you tomorrow.